allowed Rowles to exit first, then followed close behind. The hall extended to the main entrance and then flowed to the grand staircase. The living quarters were on the second floor in the western wing of the Elizabethan-era house. Built in an E shape, the house had undergone several renovations to keep it modern. However, the grand staircase and the location of the family apartments had remained unchanged. Rowles took the stairs slowly, not looking forward to the conversation with the doctor. He was sure it would be a different rendition of the same advice. Sedate her, keep her comfortable, post a guard at the door. The white-haired doctor was frowning at the wooden floor as Rowles approached him. Upon realizing the Duke's presence, the doctor straightened, then bowed. "Your Grace." "Dr. Smythe." Rowles waited for the doctor to begin. The doctor's bushy eyebrows drew together, covering his bespectacled eyes. "I'm afraid it required more laudanum than I usually have to administer, so she will be sleeping for several hours." The doctor paused, seemed to consider his next words. "The agitation she exhibited was abnormal. Was there perhaps some sort of event that troubled her?" Rowles shook his head. "Nothing of which I'm aware." Rowles studied the doctor. "It's worse, isn't it?" The doctor met his look, and Rowles appreciated the lack of pity in his expression as he answered with a directness often absent in others. "Yes, and it will likely continue to progress, Your Grace." Rowles bowed his head with the weight of the truth. "Is there nothing to be done, then?" "At this point, no, unless you wish to—" Rowles's head snapped up, and he met the doctor's stare, which had shifted to a look of wary concern. "Hell will freeze over before I send my mother to Bedlam, if there's nothing else." Rowles didn't wait for the doctor's response, but spun on his heel, gave the doctor his back, and left. He doubted the doctor would suggest such a preposterous idea again, as if he could relegate his mother to within the stone walls of that institution legendary for harbouring insanity. His mother wasn't herself, but she wasn't a danger, and she would be prey in a place such as that. Never had he been so grateful for the privilege of his rank. Because of it, he wasn't forced to consign his mother to Bedlam, but could provide a better way to care for her needs. A shudder racked his body as he thought about the implications that would course throughout the London ton should he make such a move. His mother's infirmities were whispered and laughed about, but he didn't begrudge the murmurings. They were all accurate, or at least mostly. It would be like a tiger without stripes if the London ton didn't gossip about a widowed duchess who had a bent mind. But that didn't mean he found it easy to deal with the furtive peeks in his direction from people wondering if the infirmity was in his blood. Though apparently that wasn't enough of a threat to keep the mammas of the ton at bay when it came to throwing their daughters in his direction. How his late brother had dealt with such officious attention was beyond comprehension. Rowles descended the stairs and returned to the quiet solitude of his study, welcoming the sight of shelves of books all well-worn with use and appreciation. Life had been so much simpler when his brother carried the mantle of the family title. Rowles missed teaching, missed it with an intensity that was too similar to resentment to be healthy. He would be a better professor now, he was certain. Life had taught him some harsh lessons, and humility had been one of the most powerful lessons. If he'd learned anything, it was that he truly didn't have all the answers. And maybe that was the greatest lesson of all, knowing how little one knew. But damn and blast, it was a difficult lesson to swallow. His eyes drifted to the hearth, the embers glowing in the evening light, and he felt a kinship with the charred wood. Could anything be made from ashes? He struggled with the answer that rose from his long study of the Bible. Beauty. Beauty came from ashes. Perhaps his.